Poems of Prajaka Sutara. Shri Maharaj His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kuri Vaishnavani Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sako Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Govinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Girivaran Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jamuna Maya Ganga Maya Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish Ki Jai. Nudwarka Dham Ki Jai. Gaur Pramananda Hari Bol. All glories is some devotees. All glories is some devotees. All glory is some devotees. Jai Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19, Text 29. Text 29. King Yati achieves liberation. Is a very simple verse. Namas Tubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarva Bhuta Divasaya Shantaya Vrihate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarva Bhuta Divasaya Shantaya Brihate Namaha. That's the verse, right? Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarvabhuta Divasaya Shantaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarvabhuta Divasaya Shantaya Brihate Namaha. Vasudevaya Vedase Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarvabhutadi Vasaya Shantaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarvabhutadi Vasaya Shantaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarvabhutadi Vasaya Santaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Sudevaya Vedase Sarvabhutadi Vasaya Santaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Sudevaya Vedase Sarvabhutadi Vasaya Santaya Priyate. Matajis. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Haribhutadi Vasaya Santaya Priyate Namaha. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Bhutadi Vasaya Santaya Priyate Namaha. Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. Tubhyam, unto you, Bhagavate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya, Lord Vasudev. Vedase, the creator of everything. Sarvabhuta Adivasaya, present everywhere, within the heart of every living entity, and within the atom also. Shantaya, peaceful, as if completely inactive. Brihate, the greatest of all. Nama, I offer my respectful obeisances. Translation. O Lord Vasudeva, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation. You live as the supersoul in everyone's heart and are smaller than the smallest. Yet you are greater than the greatest and are all-pervading. You appear completely silent, having nothing to do, but this is due to your all-pervading nature and your fullness in all opulences. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport by Sura Prabhu. How Devayani became self-realized by the grace of her great husband, Marjayati, is described here. Describing such realization is another way of performing the bhakti process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. Hearing and chanting about the transcendental name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting, are especially important. By hearing from her husband about the greatness of Lord Vasudeva, Devayani certainly became convinced and surrendered herself unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is knowledge. Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavamam Prapadyante. Surrender to Vasudeva is the result of hearing about him from many, many births. As soon as one surrenders unto Vasudeva, one is liberated immediately. Because of her association with her great husband, Maharaj Yayati, Devayani became purified, adopted the means of bhakti yoga, and thus became liberated. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 9th canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled King Yayati Achieves Liberation. Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Sarva Bhutadivasaya Shantaya Briyate Nama. O Lord Vasudeva, Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation. You live as the Supersoul in everyone's heart and are smaller than the smallest. Yet you are greater than the greatest and all-pervading. You appear completely silent, having nothing to do, but this is due to your all-pervading nature and your fullness and all opulences. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmiritam Jena Tasmai Sugurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances to his lotus feet. So herein, one of the words which caught my attention is Brihate. Krishna is glorified as the greatest of all. In our day, some of the old devotees remember, maybe some of younger people, there were athletes who were declaring themselves, I'm the greatest of all. One particular athlete who took Prabhupada's books, we heard from Sura Prabhu at the Sankirtan meeting last week and a half ago. This great personality, who was a young boy, 20-year-old boy, announced to the press, I'm the greatest of all, isn't it? That was his mantra, Brihate. Of course, we understand what Brihate, we're not criticizing. He took Srila Prabhupada's books from Sura Prabhu on 2 occasions. Well, he donated on the other occasion. He pushed aside all of his guards and his, entourage, and gave the devotees donation. I know about Hare Krishna. I like Hare Krishna. And later he never announced, I'm the greatest of all. Because the greatest of all doesn't succumb to materialistic disease. Krishna is beyond. He is divyam. Tapo divyam putrakayena sadyat yasmad brahma sokyam twanantam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotional service are totally transcendental. They aren't subject to Parkinson's disease, kidney failure, liver failure, the common cold. They're divyam. The Lord is divyam. He's transcendental. He's untouched by this material world as a lotus leaf is untouched by the water. Bhagavad Gita explains a lotus leaf has cilia on the bottom. If you ever see a lotus flower, I think they have them in some of the parks here, especially in India, lotus flowers, they float on the water. If you put most plants in the water, it will sink. But the lotus flower has little cilia on the bottom, and it's untouched. The cilia float on the water. So similarly, the pure devotee and Lord Krishna himself are untouched by the modes of material nature. Of course, as long as one has a body here in this material world, that body has a beginning and an end. But the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. So who is the greatest of all? No one material. Someone who may claim I'm greatest of all and then start losing all their sports or academic battles, because in this material world, we come for some time, we grow, we create offspring, we dwindle, and we vanish. In the material world, the Bhagavad Gita describes that sense gratification is nectar in the beginning and poison in the end. We've all experienced in many different ways. When one gains some material comfort, it's very nice, and after some time, well, it's not that nice, and a little longer. I remember when I was a child, you'd get a gift and play with it all the time, your favorite toy. And after a while, you get tired of it a little bit, and in the end, it's in the corner, and you never touch it. So material world is nectar in the beginning. This is Bhagavad Gita, not me, not my childhood. This is Shastra. Poison in the end. And the contrary, Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, may be a little bit difficult in the beginning. No meat, fish, eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit connection. Is difficult for a materialistic person. Even when the first, what was it? I think it was first disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta went to London, and they talked with one big, what was his name? The Marquis of something or other. And they told him the regular principles. He said, impossible. He liked the philosophy, but the regular, impossible. No one can follow that. No meat, no fish, no eggs, no intoxication of any sort, no gambling, no illicit connection. Impossible. So it's difficult. The devotees in the beginning days, little difficult. I think there was one story that Shama Sundar was making the deity of Jagannath for Prabhupada. So Prabhupada came in to see what is his progress. So when Prabhupada came in, there was a stand that the Jagannath deities were on. Shama Sundar, who was brand new, put his cigarette down on the stand. He was carving Jagannath Swami, Baladev Subhadra, but not so strict. In those days, 66, maybe 67, San Francisco, I believe, early days. Prabhupada came in, this I think is in the book, beautiful book by Mukunda Maharaj, about Prabhupada's pastimes in San Francisco and London. Prabhupada came in and took his cane and flipped the cigarette off of the stand, off of the altar, and flipped it into one corner of the room to get it away. Nasty cigarette on Jagannath's altar that was being carved. So it's a little bit difficult, but it's nectar in the end. A little hard. You go on Sankirtan, it's hard. I remember when I first went on Sankirtan, I was in Portland, Oregon. I didn't even stay at the temple. I only stayed a week. I told them I'm just going back to pick up my girlfriend. And 6 months later, I came back to Seattle. But in Portland, first day, they had me in the incense factory in the basement. But then they called everybody up. They come with the Harinam party. So we went in the afternoon on Harinam, downtown Portland, and some nut threw a cherry bomb at the Harinam party. My first day on Harinam. Nobody got hurt, But let me tell you, I was terrified. I was not shaved up. I had my jufro and my, what do you call, pants, what do you call those that come out at the bottom? Bell-bottom blues and suburban hippie. So I thought, I'm not going to sit here and be a target for crazy people with cherry bombs. So I said, can I distribute some books? They said, yeah, go ahead. Here's a Reservoir of Pleasure and On Chanting, something like that. So I started going in the crowd. Honest to God, Krishna's arrangement, the first person I approached was some mad hippie, street, homeless, crazy person. He looked friendly to my polluted eyes. And he pulled a knife on me. This was my first day of Sankirtan. So I went up to the president, Dinabandhu. I said, can I go back home and work in the incense factory? So he gave me, 4 coins, and I took a bus back to the temple in Portland. And I spent the next day or two in the basement dipping the incense. There was a spiritual sky incense. So it was a little difficult in the beginning. I was thinking, I'm not going back out there again. And when I went and finally came back in Seattle, the first day they had me fix a window. I told them I was a carpenter. So I went to the store and got the glass, was putting the putty in the window. Somehow I didn't put enough in. When I opened it and closed it, the window came out and all the glass broke on the floor. So the temple president said, you're not a carpenter, you're going on Sankirtan. And they sent me back on the streets. First day, that afternoon. Get out there. So spiritual life is difficult in the beginning, but it becomes very blissful. And you don't know what blessing that you'll receive. We were in Atlanta for the American Academy of Religion. One lady came to the booth and purchased 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was very nice. Because mostly people, we did, $1,000 worth of books in 3 days. But most people were getting Library of Vedic Culture. Jayadvaita Swami was there, his new book, Vanity Karma, and maybe some cookbooks. This lady, Indian lady, lived in Costa Mesa, California, bought a set of Bhagavatams. So I told her I'll ship it out as soon as we get back. So we got back, it was the day before Thanksgiving. Things were very much in a hurry. And Jagadish Prabhu was in the book room with me. Try and understand, Jagadish Prabhu, I'm not just saying this, he is meticulous in his shipping and receiving. The typing, the addresses, we get very few returns. Basically, the only returns are when I handwrite something, shaking from the steroids, and they send it back, we don't know where this is supposed to go. Can you please type it, this scribble is illegible. Isn't it, Archita? 2-3 times last week. Stop. Whoever's scribbling this, stop. I think it's a stamp now that the post office bought. Stop the scribbler. Why he is scribbling on this. We can't read this stuff. Jagadish Prabhu is meticulous. So the day before Thanksgiving, we're sending these packages. We sent the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somehow or other, by Krishna's grace, we didn't know, he put the wrong address. And he typed in, I think instead of a 2, a 6. Or an 8, something, the last number. In a hurry. We went to the post office, dropped off the box. 2 days later, a lady calls Goda Chandra Prabhu and says, I have this box from your company. Our address and phone number, I guess, are there on the return address. And it's not mine, it's some Agrawal, Priya Agrawal or somebody. And she said, have them call me. My name is Dr. Christine, I forget, Smith, something. So I called her that afternoon. I was like, oh no, how did we do this? Meanwhile, Jagadish has his program. He's looking up, what's the address? Where did we send it? So it turns out the lady is also a professor at college, living in Costa Mesa. We called her and we told her the address it was supposed to go to. She said, oh, that's 2 doors down. That's just the house next to my neighbor. So I said, well, we'll have UPS come, pick up the box, and it'll be delivered. She said, no. I heard that lady was a professor. I'm also a professor. I wanted to meet Mrs. Agrawal, Dr. Agrawal. I'll take it there myself. So somehow or other, this lady, unknowingly, of course, ultimately it was knowingly. She knew it was Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. She knew it was scriptures from the American Academy of Religion from BBT. Carried Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maybe not on her head, maybe on her. But you can imagine. Took the CC, the entire set, carried it no less than 2 doors from my apartment to Savas Prabhu's apartment is 2 doors. That's, for some people, a long walk. That's what, 50 yards? 70 yards? You can go. Right here in Costa Mesa. She took it, met Dr. Agrawal, discussed with her. Now they're friends, and we're hoping that Dr. Agrawal will bring this other professor to classes. By a mistake. At first, when I heard the box came back, I was thinking, what a dodo. How did he do the wrong address? But by Krishna's grace, this PhD was blessed directly with the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you touch one book, it will change your life. What to speak, she reads and meets the devotee of the Lord. In our philosophy, Prabhupada tells a story. Once upon a time, there was a very saintly person. And he had somehow contracted a terrible rash and bumps. So he went to another sadhu and he said, what do? I can't do my chanting. I can't engage in my seva. Help me. He went to a senior devotee. This was years and years and years and years ago, during the time of Ajamil. So the saintly person said, you find out who is the most sinful man in our area, the most sinful, and you go to his home. And you take the remnants of his food and you'll be cleared. No more rash and difficulty. So he went. He thought the most sinful man is a Jamil. He is sinful. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam. So he went. The Jamil was out philandering. His wife was at home with their new baby. And he told his wife, I need to get the remnants of a Jamil. She said, I'll cook for you. He said, no, I need his remnants, please. So she gave the remnants of Ajamiel's foodstuff. He went home to his ashram, to his ashram setting, and he was cleared from the disease. So he thought, how can I thank this wife of Ajamiel? She was so nice to give me the prasad. And it was Ajamiel's blessing without knowing that I got this prasadam. He was out doing what he does. So he went back. He didn't have any money for gifts, but he wanted to give a nice gift. This is a story from Prabhupada. So he went to the place of Ajamiel. Again, Ajamiel was out doing the Ajamiel. We cannot discuss in the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So he saw the wife there feeding the newborn baby, some days old, weeks old. And he said, I have a present. I want to thank you. You helped me so much. She said, yeah, whatever you'd like to, blessing you give us. And he told her, here's my gift. Your son's new name is Narayan. You should always call him Narayan. And of course we know the story. It's saved by her giving the sinful remnants of foodstuff from Ajamiel to this sage. He gave her the name Narayan, and the father from then on called Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. I know it's supposed to be the grandson, but in this story that we read, it's described, this is on ISKCON post. It's the son, newborn son. So we don't know who we're meeting, what we're doing, how something wonderful can happen. There's another story. You might see I was reading these stories. There was a camp of devotees, or some kind of saintly persons, and no one would come to their temple. It was dwindling, 5 people left. Even we could see in some of our ISKCON temples. Sometimes they dwindle a little bit. We don't understand why. But there was another group, and their temple was flourishing a little bit. Not so much, they were also losing. So the one acharya, the one leader, went to speak to the other. What can I do? We're losing people in our mandir. No one comes. He said, I'm also having that problem. It's very difficult times. I'm not sure what to do. So the one leader thanked the other leader, was ready to go his way. He said, but there's one thing that you should know. He turned around, he said, yes. He said, in your center, in your ashram of 5 saintly people, one of them is a pure devotee. One of them is the Messiah. One of them, one of you, is 100% pure. So he was struck. He went back home and he told everyone the news, and everyone changed completely. They started treating each other with great respect and thinking it might be him. No, it could be him. I think it's him. Then they thought, wait a second, it might be me. So I've got to carry myself a little differently. I could be the chosen one. So they became so Trinadapi Sunichena, so humble and so pure, that people started coming. They saw, oh, this place is bright as a light, bright as the sun. And people started joining. Prabhupada tells the story. So this is our mission, somehow or other, to spread Krishna consciousness, give people an opportunity. And Prabhupada said, how do we spread? In 1977 in August, we were in the room, and Prabhupada Vishnu Maharaj came. I think he's British or from somewhere in UK. And Prabhupada looked at him and said, one great poet had said that you should have the courage of an Englishman and the heart of a Bengali mother. Englishmen, they had this in the past. It's not anymore, but before our time, before my time. British Empire. They ruled the world. The British were so courageous. They were even in charge of America before my time. I think in the 1770s or something. Before that. So Prabhupada said, the courage of an Englishman and the heart of a Bengali mother. You spread Krishna consciousness like the British spread their empire everywhere. And we're seeing now temples popping up. First, there are preaching centers in our so many different places, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, preaching Krishna consciousness, and then they become preaching centers. Ypsilanti, what was the latest one? Farmington Hills. Which one? He met an Ypsilantiite. Was he the president or just a congregation? Unbelievable. Do they know about our Ypsilanti temple? Oh, they were the Ypsilanti temple. Maybe they're among us, the chosen Ypsilantis. I lived in the Midwest. I never heard, what is a Ypsilanti? The funny thing is, the name of the street the temple is on is Washtenaw Boulevard. So when Jagadish Prabhu was asking me, where did that order go out to Ypsilanti? I said, oh, on Washtenaw Boulevard. He said, how did you know that? I said, oh, I grew up on Washtenaw Boulevard in Chicago. That was my street till I was 13 years old, 12 years old. So I never heard, though, of Ypsilanti. Farmington Hills, Detroit. I never heard of such a place. Niles I heard of. Grosse Pointe, maybe. Farmington Hills, and it's called ISKCON Farmington Hills. Isn't it? They write us, this is ISKCON Farmington Hill. ISKCON Farm. Little temples all over the country opening up in every town and village because people are carrying that message like the courage of an Englishman and the heart. They actually are Bengali mothers. In Austin, Texas, they just called up. There's the Austin Krishnas and the Hare Krishna Center of Austin. I said, the Austin Krishnas and the other temple, a mile and a half away, is called the Hare Krishna Center of Austin. Can you make the two separate temples? We now have two temples in Austin. And the addresses, I looked it up. They're 8 blocks away from each other. Same thing in Sacramento. We have 3 temples. One in Folsom, one in West Sacramento, one in East Sacramento, and the one in the middle, she actually is a Bengali mother. And she has the heart of a English woman. Her husband's English, and she's Bengali. Her name is Chaitanya, and she's disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. Her husband's British, she's Bengali. And they're spreading Krishna consciousness like anything with the courage of the Englishman and the heart of the Bengali mother. But if you go there, she's kind of like an Englishman. Very strong Mataji. And he's like the Bengali mother. It's amazing. So let us continue to push on this movement, become Krishna conscious ourselves, fill ourselves up, Shravana Kirtanam, with stories and pastimes of Krishna and his associates. We'll be happy and make others happy. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Ypsilante. With a Y. With a capital Y. We get oh, yeah. What happened? Okay, thank you very much. Yesterday, somebody got me into the stories. Actually, Maharaj, I'm about to ask me to retell him the story just to get me to say about the scissors and the knife. You know the stories? Two men were fighting because they saw a newspaper. The one man said, "Oh, that was cut by a knife." The other man said, "No, no." Serrated with scissors. You see the marks. So they're fighting. No, knife, scissors. Papa tells us.